Hello everyone and welcome to About Town. I'm Susan Stevens.
And I'm Cathy Whiteman. Thanks for joining us for the celebration of Juneteenth, how local residents mark the day African Americans found out they were free. And we get ready for Independence Day, July 4th celebrations in Irving.
We also find out about life after serving the city as we check in with former Parks and Rec director Ray Cerda. And we learn about the minimalist art of Jo Temming. Plus, in feature flicks, Harrison Ford is back as Indiana Jones one last time.
It's now a nationally commemorated holiday. Juneteenth is celebrated on the anniversary of the order proclaiming freedom for enslaved people in Texas.
Here in Irving, folks celebrated by gathering at one of the oldest black settlements in the state.
Y'all mind if we groove just a little bit?
Live music, free food, and a car show were just some of the highlights at this year's Juneteenth celebration held at Bear Creek Heritage Park.
Today we're partnering with the West Irving Association, and we're putting on an event for families and friends. We have activities for the kids. We have In-N-Out Burger, which is gonna be giving away 500 free meals throughout the day. We have great bands. We also have a DJ. We're gonna be doing line dancing, and we have a host of other activities going on.
Juneteenth commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans in Texas. First celebrated on June 19, 1966, and is now a federal holiday celebrated by millions.
It means people coming together, having a good time. That's what it means.
It means a lot to me, freedom, and just knowing that it's done now as a federal holiday, and that we all can celebrate.
It means freedom. That's what it means to me. And it's an opportunity for us all to get together. I see people here that I haven't seen since last year.
This annual celebration brings the community together and recognizes an important day in history.
It makes the city come together. It's no violence, it's just peaceful, everybody having a good time.
As well as an important landmark in Irving.
I think it's important because it gives people the opportunity to learn the history of the people who initially founded this community, the place where they live. Bear Creek is one of the oldest black settlements, maybe the oldest in the state of Texas.
The Juneteenth celebration is a meaningful event that both organizers and attendees enjoy.
Just seeing people having fun, the smiles, they thanking you for, having the event here. So just the whole family atmosphere.
It's a blast. I'm waiting to come back next year, bigger and better,
This week, we introduce a new segment on the artists behind the great exhibits at the Irving Arts Center. We'll start with Jo Temming, a minimalist painter whose work is featured in the exhibit Evolution.
I would describe myself as a contemporary minimalist artist. A kind of a textural painter is where I really focus on. So my art tends to be more a marriage of paint and sculpting. My goal as an artist is to really reduce art to its simplest form, whether in composition, color, or form. We just felt like Evolution was a really fitting title for this particular show because it shows my evolution as an artist and in the paintings that we selected for the exhibit. There's a lot of different styles and techniques that I've developed over decades, but also taking one particular style and seeing how it has evolved. So there's paintings done in the same technique that I did a few years ago, and then how I've changed and evolved and grown that technique and incorporated that into a new series that's also part of that exhibit. I like to mix my own paints because I'm a little bit OCD and a little bit of a control freak. And so by mixing my own paints in my own mediums, I can incorporate the different levels of colors and textures that I want. So if I want a textural element, it needs to be a thicker bodied paint than something that would be more fluid would be thinner. And so when you're mixing your own mediums, then you can control that a little bit better. But for me, I love unconventional materials. And so as part of the innovation, not only am I looking at materials that are not traditionally materials that artists create with, but I'm able to look at them and use them in a very different way. I have a piece that won the New Texas Talent selection last year, and it's made out of coffee stirrers. And so, you know, people look at it and like, they never guess it's coffee stirrers. I mean, I think even after I tell them that, they don't believe it. They have to touch it, and I'll let them, you know, because it's experiential. I have a very specific aesthetic as an artist, but really my main goal is to constantly push myself to explore, innovate, fail, refine, explore some more, innovate some more. And so really, as my artistic journey continues, it's really about where I'm going to end up as an artist. I know where I am, have been in the past, where I am today, but what I'm excited to see is where I end up in the future.
Evolution Paintings by Jo Temming continues in the Carpenter Hall Lobby Gallery through July 29th. The special events team is gearing up for an Independence Day celebration you won't want to miss.
Megan Gordon and Hannah James are here with all the details. Great to see you, ladies.
You too.
Always, always. So, Sparks and Stripes, here we go. Can you give us a little overview of what viewers can expect?
Yeah, so another great year at the Levy Event Plaza with Sparks and Stripes. I mean, we've got everything from food to entertainment, to kids' rides, to, of course, the end of the night events of our drone and fireworks show. And notice I said drone and fireworks show this time.
Okay, nice.
Hannah, can you tell us about the entertainment lineup?
So the event starts at 6 o'clock, but live music starts at 6:30 with the Vandaliers are first. And then after that, about 8 o'clock, Downtown Fever is our next musical performance, and they're always a good time. And then after that, then the fireworks and drones and all the fun starts with the big stuff. So.
Okay, yeah, the celebration part.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do viewers need to know about the logistics? Where's parking and those kinds of details?
So it's a little detailed this year, but that's only so we can give you guys the best experience possible with so many people parking. We have $10 parking that's located by the event in the Summit Parking Garage and 600 East Las Colinas Parking Garage. And then the free parking is located at Williams Square Tower. The shuttles pick up by the Mustangs. They go from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then they'll run back to Williams Square through 11:30 p.m. All this is on the website, but a very detailed plan, so make sure to check the website. We're going to keep pushing information out on social media as well.
That's
nice,
great.
though.
It sounds like you guys paid a lot of attention to that, and you know, it's always going to be difficult because so many people come for such a great time. But sounds like the plan's in place.
We're really trying.
We love a good plan.
Sounds very
Absolutely.
organized.
So folks, don't forget you can kick off your day with the Sparks and Stripes Parade at 9 a.m. in the Irving Heritage District, followed by the annual Watermelon Social, and then the fun continues at Levy Event Plaza at 6 p.m. for fireworks, drone shows, music, kids events, and more. Get all your details at irvingevents.org. After 15 years, Harrison Ford returns to the silver screen as Indiana Jones in the franchise's latest sequel, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Susan, are audiences in for a thrilling adventure?
For the most part, yes. I think audiences are going to be so happy that this story isn't ending on the mess that was Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This newest film is much less convoluted and has a plot that moviegoers are sure to appreciate.
I'm retiring.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny follows our favorite archaeologist as he races against time to retrieve a legendary artifact that can change the course of history. He must do everything he can to stop it from falling into the hands of a Nazi who wants to fix Hitler's mistakes and have his side of the war win. In addition to Harrison Ford, the film stars Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mads Mikkelsen, and Antonio Banderas.
Dr. Jones, get him.
Obviously, this storyline is a little out there, but so are the previous movies. What's best about this sequel is the nostalgia. They go back to the basics, filling in holes fans might wonder about, and include plenty of throwbacks from the original movies, like Dr. Jones' past relationships, his fear of snakes, and the iconic John Williams score. But what's most impressive about this film is how effortlessly Ford fits right back into his historic character. You can tell he's having fun again and proves the man is still just as talented as ever. In addition to Ford's performance, Mickelson is brilliant as the villain you love to fear and hate. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny won't be the most memorable of the 5 films, and the runtime could be about 40 minutes shorter. However, it's got exciting action sequences, classic Indiana Jones humor, and makes for a fun theatrical experience. But most importantly, it's a fitting send-off to a beloved character that provides the much-needed closure fans of the franchise deserve.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is now playing. Check for showtimes at one of Irving's excellent local theaters.
It's Christmas in July with Gateway Performing Arts' production of White Christmas.
Eric Snodgrass and J. Scott Gage are the leading men, and they join us with all the details. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to have you guys here, and I want to start with you, J. Scott. White Christmas is a song that everybody knows, but the truth is there's a whole Tony Award nominated musical that's behind it. What can you tell us about the show?
White Christmas, it's based on the movie starring Bing Crosby back in the 50s, I believe.
That sounds right.
So it's two army buddies post-war. They are a famous song and dance team. They are looking to revamp their new show. They run into a pair of sister performers, and through a series of events, they run into their old general from the war, and just comedy happens, chaos ensues, and it's a really fun show for the whole family. So I think everyone will enjoy coming out to see it.
Yeah, for sure. So can you tell us about your characters?
Yes, so I have the privilege of playing Bob Wallace, or as my dad asked me, are you playing Bing Crosby? Sort of, Dad, yeah. So he's kind of the main producer of the pair, and he's a little more business, kind of straight-laced, and not enough time for romance. So this is ultimately a romantic show as well. And again, no spoilers, but finds romance in one of the women of the pair of sisters that they run into. And that's Bob Wallace.
Yeah.
Good job.
What about your character?
I'm playing Phil Davis. He's the opposite of Bob. He's more loose. He's more romantic. He's the one, making these impulsive decisions, like let's go do this, let's go meet these people, and he's trying to get Bob out of his shell a little bit more so he can meet this girl and have a nice life.
So a little romance, a little snow, it all sounds real good to me. So White Christmas is one of those songs that everybody knows, but are there other songs from the show that people will recognize?
I think other than that one, the most recognizable song is Sisters.
Yes.
It's the one that 2 sisters sing, and probably Snow. That's a famous song from the movie that I think people will recognize too. Also Blue Skies is a famous Irving Berlin song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot there.
There's a lot that people recognize.
Yeah.
But I think people will be surprised at how much they will recognize.
A lot of great music. So can you tell us about Gateway Performing Arts, and also what made you guys decide to play White Christmas in July?
Yes, so Gateway Performing Arts is a ministry of Gateway Church. And so we do a show once a year out in the community somewhere, and we've been with the Irving Arts Center. We've been there in the Carpenter Hall the last couple of years. I have a great partnership with them, and they've been very welcoming hosts. And in terms of why to do White Christmas in the middle of the Texas summer, it's the Texas summer and it's miserable, and dreaming of a white Christmas is what we're all doing at about that time. And so we thought it'd be a fun thing to do, to perhaps even make it snow inside the building while we're there. And just a classic, show based on a classic music and classic movie musical. Lots of fun, so much mini songs, lots of dances, lots of high energy, and romance to boot.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, it does sound like a wonderful show. So folks, don't miss White Christmas, Gateway Performing Arts, through July 9th at 7 p.m. in Carpenter Hall. You can get your tickets at gatewayperformingarts.com.
Retirement didn't mean slowing down for former Irving Parks and Recreation Director Ray Cerda. Ray has a new role and a new project that proves the next chapter just might be the best chapter.
So this is the Parks and Recreation Department. This is where all the administrative department is actually housed out of.
Parks and Recreation is in Ray Cerda's blood. So much so that after retiring from the City of Irving, the City of Grand Prairie made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
I started my full-time employment here back in 1990, so I felt like I was coming back home. I enjoy serving the community of Grand Prairie, here for the next 4 or 5 months, or however long they need me. All our summer vacancies filled.
The Grand Prairie position is temporary, but Ray's new passion project is definitely ongoing.
Well, Terry, thank you so much for coming on my podcast called Rolling with Ray. The podcast is about individuals who are doing the impossible. These are individuals that all across the country that have dealt with some type of trauma, and they're overcoming their odds and achieving the ultimate success.
People like recent guest Edwin Munoz, an adaptive athlete turning his personal tragedy into hope for others.
The plan is to knock out 50 miles a day for about 20 to 30 days.
Edwin Munoz, at the age of 20, sustained a spinal cord injury as a result of a diving accident that he had in a nearby lake. He raises money for spinal cord injury, and he's actually riding a hand cycle from Dallas, Texas to Denver, Colorado to raise awareness for spinal cord injuries. To me, that's just a phenomenal story.
Ray understands that story because he's lived it.
I had been an athlete all my life, played football, played all the sports, football, basketball, baseball, ran track.
Ray had hopes of running track at the collegiate level, but a car accident changed his plans forever.
I was 16 years old. When you're 16 years old, you're still trying to find your own life and you're trying to find your own identity. My whole life had changed in a heartbeat. So you grieve and you move on, and you have to learn to accept your new life. And you know what? That's the way it's going to be.
That resilience fueled Ray's drive to overcome his injury and build a successful life. He first shared his story in his book, The Life I Didn't Expect, and the podcast was the next logical step.
So it's awesome, man. If you guys get a chance.
Ray hopes viewers hear a message of hope in every episode.
Look good.
I wanted to tell those stories too, so individuals can get inspired. So you know what? It's not the end of the world, folks. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to it.
You can catch Ray's inspirational podcast, Rollin' with Ray, on his YouTube channel at Rollin' with Ray 7878.
For nearly 3 decades, I have had the privilege of producing, anchoring, writing, and reporting Irving's arts, culture, and community events program About Town. I've had opportunities with this show that I never could have imagined. Interviews with authors and artists, movie legends and Broadway stars, local and national politicians, even a former First Lady of the United States of America. But my greatest joy has always been meeting people from this community and shining the spotlight on folks who work together to make Irving the best place to call home. And if home is where the heart is, then Irving will always be my home. But now it's time for me to vacate the anchor chair and move on to my next chapter. So this will be my final edition of About Town. And in leaving, I have a lot of thank yous. To my fellow staff of the City of Irving, my gratitude for decades of teamwork and wonderful memories. To my ICTN family, we've built an amazing organization that I know will continue to do great work for this city because you are truly the hardest working, smartest, and most talented people working in television, and no, I'm not biased. To our viewers and the many Irving residents, business people, artists, and community volunteers I've had the privilege to work with and get to know as friends. You have made the past 3 decades of my life a joy, not a job. Thank you. And while I'm heading off for new adventures, I promise I'll pop back in from time to time.
Cathy, I think I can speak for everybody here that we're going to miss you very much, and we're sad to see you go, but we wish you the best. With these hot summer days, you'll need great ways to stay cool. So our man about town, Levi Gomez, has the perfect recommendations.
Hi everyone, Levi here. Come check out the I Love 90s tour with Ryan Cabrera, with hits from Vanilla Ice, 2 Live Crew, and many more 90s icons. The show's July 7th at 5:30 p.m. at the Pavilion. The Irving Arts Center is hosting Open Studio for Teens. Teens can create, experiment with new materials, learn new techniques, and make new friends. Check it out July 9th from 1 to 4 p.m. Don Toliver stopping in Irving for the Lovesick Tour 2023 with Pierre Bourne, known for its hit singles After Party and No Idea. Check it out July 9th at 8 p.m. at the Pavilion. Main Stage Irving Las Colinas presents The Underpants, written by legendary comedian Steve Martin. It's about a newlywed wife whose wardrobe malfunctions create funny mishaps. The show is July 14th through the 29th here at Dupree Theater. Kickspo and Dated Faded Warren have teamed up to bring the Vintage Apparel and Collectibles Expo to Irving. It's the largest streetwear and sneaker convention in the country. Check it out July 15th from 1 to 7 p.m. here at the Irving Convention Center. Bring your yoga mat and plenty of water for poses in the plaza for toning, stretching, and strengthening. Instructor Sashi Wilson calls the class Moving Meditation. Check it out July 15th at 9 a.m. here at Texas Lottery Plaza.
For more events about town, visit irvingartcenter.com and the events calendar at irvingtexas.com. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time for highlights from the Sparks and Stripes Independence Day Parade and a preview of Main Stage Irving Las Colinas' upcoming show, The Underpants.
And we'll have highlights from the Thank Goodness It's Funny comedy series at the Irving Arts Center.
As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. Tell us about events going on around the community, people we should profile, or stories you'd like to see on the show.
You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you.
We'll leave you tonight with another look at Juneteenth 2023. For About Town, signing out for the last time, I'm Cathy Whiteman.
And I'm Susan Stevens. Have a great evening.